Hey everyone, welcome back to another layout update. I just wanted to update you really quick on where I am with the scenery down in this area. That was the focus of the last layout update. I haven't gotten very far, as you can see, but I do want to show you what solution I'm going to go with. That way you guys, if you want, you can interject with your thoughts, suggestions, things like that as I move forward. No guarantees that I'll change the approach that I'm taking, but I just wanted to let you know where I'm at. So last time I proposed the question about what to do over here. You can see that this track up above is fairly close to that back wall there where it enters the staging room, and I knew I needed to hide that hole somehow, whether that be a tunnel portal or a snow shed, but this ledge here is really narrow, not a lot of room to put any infrastructure. So what I've decided to do is go with the tunnel, except instead of putting it somewhere in here or even up against the wall, I'm moving it way to the left so that that upper track is entirely hidden from view when we're over here on the horseshoe curve side of the layout. So I don't have even the scenery mocked up over here. You can see what'll happen is I need to extend the scenery up from this. So I've actually cut back this paper, which is basically the substructure of my scenery. It's got the dirt and grass on it. I'll just have to attach more and work that over the scenery. And then over here, I'm going to have to also build a structure that'll go up and over the tracks. You will see, as I've already mentioned, there's not a ton of space here, not a lot of clearance. Conveniently, I already modeled this as a rock cut, so what I'll do is just extend the rock cut up just high enough that it's over the double stack and auto rack cars. So if you can imagine now, if I step back, the backdrop profile where the scenery goes, it'll kind of come down slope just over the top of the container cars there, and then kind of sweep back up over this larger mound here that's covering the tunnel portal, which we'll take a look at in just a second. But this will be a nice platform up here to plant plenty of trees to totally hide where the scenery blends into the backdrop, and I think that'll look much more realistic, especially given the true prototype scene, which I showed you guys last time, where you can see in the background from this sort of angle the scenery slopes back up. There's lots of trees back there. So if you can imagine, once this cardboard is faced with paper, glue, I got plaster on it and all that, there will be trees just planted all over it, which will create a nice, really deep looking backdrop element from this side of the layout. And things are getting interesting over here as well. As you can see, this is where I'm placing the tunnel portal. This has been painted. I need to add a little bit of exhaust grime right in the middle at the top of the portal. I weather this to match the portal as it is now, so some of the weathering has wiped off just because it's been out of use. So this is not an actual in-use tunnel on the prototype today, but I'm pretending like it's still in use. I tried to capture the weathering on the inside of the tunnel as best as possible as well. You can see that really grimy black streaking that's coming down over the whiter sort of gray looking tunnel material. So I think the weathering on the inside matches the prototype pretty well. I like the way that the face has come out too, and you can see I just basically cannibalized the tunnel liner that I had in place originally for my reverse loop tunnel. And what's cool about this is that it's actually like a full arched roof. But not only that, it curves with the tracks as well, which was sort of a struggle to create. I've actually cut the liner in half and then split that second half into two more pieces, as you can see. And the reason for that is if you're standing right here, I wanted that tunnel liner to sweep all the way around so that when you're looking through there, or like a locomotive's coming through and the headlight glares on the wall, I wanted to make sure there wasn't like a sharp line where it's just like an open cavern and then all of a sudden it hits the tunnel liner. I want it to seem like the liner continues all the way through when in reality it doesn't. So I sort of had to get crafty there. I didn't want to build a new tunnel liner, so I just cut up the one that I already created. So from this side you can clearly see where the scenery will slope down on either side of the tunnel itself. This ridge will be obviously deeper than this piece of cardboard. It has to go down on the other side as well. And then this little window here, I will fill in with plenty of trees, once again to block this scene that we're looking at here from the other side and vice versa. Then right here, this is the second leg of our new reverse loop, which is this whole thing here. I'm going to make this sort of a smaller rock cut, suggesting that this earth originally sloped down, then they added a new track, so this got cut back. This will slope further back. This will sort of mimic the overpass at the prototype Belmont. So this is Belmont, Nebraska up here at the top. The arrangement of things are totally out of whack just because of the way the layout's laid out. But this overpass I hope to model per the prototype, and while we won't have as much right-of-way access on either side of the tracks, I've actually decided to keep this side open while modeling the slopes over there, just because I didn't want it to feel too claustrophobic. Of course, the challenge is, how are we hiding this hole? Well, my hope is that on that slope there, we can plant some trees to cover that one edge. Over here, again, we can put some trees. I am going to model the access road on this side out front, so that'll be kind of cool. We can add some details there. I might park a truck down there on that edge, on that access road, again trying to hide that hole, or at least take your eyes away from it. And I think too, I mean, this is a wall right here, so people won't often be standing right there. When you step back, and by the way, I'm standing above eye level. This is what it looks like at eye level, and I'm 6'2". So if you can imagine the overpass is completed, it'll be a little beefier, thicker than that. I think with the details and some trees here and there strategically placed, the overpass itself will take the viewer's eye away from the wall, which is again sort of my aim even with the tunnel here. Like, even though I don't have a backdrop up yet, the actual physical scenery will serve as the backdrop, adding a bit of depth because the scenery will be a little bit removed from the two-dimensional wall, if that makes sense. So that's all I've got going on. Still a lot of work to do here, but I do hope to have this done in about a week or so, and I will have another update to share with you then. One thing I didn't address, except on the other side, is this giant ridge. This sort of gives a sense of the profile up above all of this, so even though it looks very vacant and low right now, this will sort of mound up. And one thing I didn't mention is that this road will sort of continue a little bit into the scenery and then take a sharp left into the backdrop. And then continuing straight, I'm going to have sort of like a ranch road with just like dirt tire tracks between the grass. And that'll sort of like go up onto this larger structure right here. So, yep, that's all I've got going on. I could have waited and just let the scenery itself illustrate what I'm going for, but I thought you guys might like to take a look at what direction I'm going with this, given that you guys gave me so many good suggestions about a week or two ago when I asked you what to do over here. So anyway, really appreciate the comments. This is what I'm doing, and if you have more suggestions, of course, leave those below. But as always, thank you so much for watching, stay tuned, and I will see you next time.